Hey everybody, how are you today? As you can probably tell by my background, I am recording this on Zoom today because I wanted to show you the platform 23andMe. And the reason I wanted to do that is because if you know what 23andMe is, it's the DNA testing service that you can do your ancestry tracking with. And they also have a health component, so they can tell you what things you might be a carrier for, some of your wellness traits, and so forth. So I thought it would be interesting to show you a little bit about that, and particularly a few that I found useful and just adding to my knowledge base and consideration for my weight wellness, and thought you might like a peek into that as well. So we're going to jump in, and I'm going to show you my 23andMe. Okay, so this is the 23andMe platform. So you can see up here, you've got the ancestry reports that you would get. I'm not going to spend any time on those today, although very interesting. If you haven't done it, it is really fascinating to see what your breakdown is and what kind of information they can share with you. But as we go under health and traits, the first thing I wanted to show you is the health predisposition category. So we're going to click on that. And loading, of course. Okay, so anyway, it'll list a number of these conditions or diseases and tell you if you have any variants that might put you at increased risk for any of these conditions. So obviously one that I would be concerned about for myself with weight and my health is this type 2 diabetes. And my genetics show that I do have an increased likelihood of having that. So if we click on that to learn more, it tells me that my genetics are associated with an increased likelihood of developing type 2 diabetes. And down here, it tells me that based on other people with similar genetics like mine, that I have a 34% chance of developing type 2 diabetes at some point between the ages of 47 and 80. So, you know, that's not awesome to know, but actually it is kind of awesome to know that, because that is just one more solid reason that I can give myself another why to add to my whys of why I want to improve my weight and health, because I am at an increased risk for this, and I do want to avoid that if possible. So anyway, so that was the first one I wanted to show you that might be interesting for you to know, and whether your genetics indicate increased risk for you. So then if we go into the wellness category, there is some things that are just sort of fun to know, but a couple of here is genetic weight. And this tells me that I'm predisposed to weigh about average. So when I click on this, it tells me that somebody who is my height and my age, the average is 163. And that there are certain variants that are associated with a lower weight and some variants associated with a higher weight. And you can see that mine are fairly evenly split. So my genetics don't say that I should be less weight or more weight, that I should be around average. And so that tells me I can't really blame genetics, right? For where I am. And the good news is that I can make a huge impact just by changing my lifestyle and behavior. So another interesting one there. And the third one that I wanted to show you, okay, go back to wellness, is the saturated fat and weight. So this tells me I'm likely to weigh more on a high saturated fat diet. So if we click on that, it tells me here that that I have a 6% higher BMI if I eat more than 22 grams of saturated fat intake per day than others on average. But if I eat less than that, there's not really a difference. So that is useful information, in that I know I can be more aware of that intake and track that. So, you know, its advice obviously is to limit your saturated fat intake, and that will help me maintain a healthier weight. So good little tidbit of information there too. So those were the top 3 that I thought you might be interested to see. And there are some interesting other things that you can find out here in traits. Most of this is sort of fun to know, not really, that impactful, but just to give you a flavor of what's there, you can take a look here. So anyway, I'd love to know if you've done 23andMe in the health and traits section and what you found interesting, or whether this might be something that you would want to try out. So let me know in the comments what your thoughts are and if that was helpful. And before you go, please like this video, subscribe, ding the little bell so you get notifications. And until next time, be well.